Ovechkin getting set for the Rangers and the Washington Capitals. Big meeting, first meeting of the season. Closed captioning is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Let's check out the Audi goaltending matchup. Henrik Lundqvist had the last game off, but look at the numbers during the streak. 5 straight wins, 1.56 goals against, .939 save percentage. And across the way, Braden Holtby has elevated his game. Mitch Korn, the new goaltending coach, has done a great job with him. And he is 7-0-2 in the last 9 games, 175 goals against average, .940 save percentage.
Sam, you know what we're not seeing out of Braden Holtby that we've seen the last couple of years? Some of those long, soft shots from like inside the blue line or through a maze of players. They had been going in the last couple of years. They're not going in this year. He's been outstanding.
Rick Nash will open the game. So will Alex Ovechkin, the 2 big scorers for either team.
So will Girardi and McDonough.
They're up there.
What a matchup this is going to be.
Here we go. The Caps in 3rd place in the Metropolitan Division, 2 points ahead of the Rangers. Rangers have 2 games in hand. Rangers start the game in the number 8 spot in the Eastern Conference, the last playoff wildcard spot. Brassard mishandled it. Backstrom takes it away and finds Eric Fair, who's the right wing on this line, with Ovechkin and Backstrom.
Well, it had been Wilson. He's a healthy scratch. We'll see Ovechkin all over the place. Left wing, right wing. A couple of different wingers on the other side.
Good forecheck pressure by Washington forced the turnover. Ovechkin turns and shoots. You can always expect that. And Lundqvist was waiting for him.
And if Ovechkin gets a chance against Ryan McDonough, he will go ahead and try and hit him hard. He's always been a physical player at 230 pounds. And that's a good, solid shoulder hit. You know how strong McDonough is. Gives you an idea of the strength of Ovechkin when he hits him that way and knocks him down.
Jay Beagle, number 83, taking this face-off against Derek Stepan, but Stepan is chased, and in comes Marty St. Louis. Rangers line is Stepan, St. Louis, and Kreider, with Dan Boyle and Mark Stahl on defense. Stepan to St. Louis. Caps played last night. This is their 3rd game in the last 4 nights. You see the Infinity, the lineups coming in at the top of your screen. They're brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. It's Joel Ward, number 42, moving in, and he's stopped by Stahl. A pass in front of the block. Pass back to the point. Niskanen, Andy Niskanen, came over as a free agent, played the last couple of years in Pittsburgh, originally a Dallas first-round pick. Jay Beagle with the puck. Eagle had a big goal for Washington last night in their 2-1 win over Ottawa.
That was his 5th of the season, a new career high for him.
Stahl with a block and a takeaway from Joel Ward. Nice little pass to Stepan. Rangers move it across, and Dan Boyle comes out. This Capital team, most of the coaches telling us today, will not trade chances. They won't open things up the way they used to. It'll be a much more pressure-type game than a physical game.
Well, that's the new coach. That's Barry Trotz. He spent 17 seasons with the Nashville Predators, and the first thing he did when he came in is he told the team, we got to establish a defensive structure to our game. It's been missing in this franchise the last number of years. That's where we're going to start. So he's gotten them now to play a much better defensive game. They're more physical than they were in the past. You'll see even the help that they get, even on the early chance the Rangers had, kind of a swarming type defense. So this is a team that is going to look much different than what Ranger fans have seen in the last few years.
Brooks Orpik, former Pittsburgh Penguin, was signed as a free agent as well. He's on defense. This is Marcus Johansson, number 90, sending it around the boards. Rangers take it away. Carl Hagelin will put it in the Washington zone. Rangers with Hagelin, Hayes, and JT Miller. Long shot, save, fought off by Holtby. Big shot by Kevin Klein. There's that big, heavy shot that we talk about.
Yeah, I wonder why Barry Trotz didn't let him open up when he played in Nashville like this, huh?
Yeah, we need to talk to him about that.
That's a good hard shot by Kevin Klein, 7 goals on the season. His previous best was 4 when he played for Nashville, and Barry Trotz, and they loved each other. Barry Trotz talked about Kevin Klein and loved him as a player and what he did as a teammate, and so coachable. And there were a lot of good feelings Kevin Klein had for Barry Trotz as well.
Dominic Moore with a face-off win leads to a shot by Stahl through traffic, and Holtby able to find it and hold on. 2:27 gone by here in this first period for Braden Holtby. It's his 11th consecutive start, his 17th consecutive appearance.
Yeah. And Barry Trotz said, if I can just get 3 more hours out of him before the break tonight, just 3 more hours. I mean, that's how good he's been. Justin Peters is the backup for Washington and has had a more difficult time of it.
And in those the previous 16 appearances, 15 have been starts. So he has gotten the bulk of the work. Good pressure by Tanner Glass with a good hit on Carl Alzner.
Alzner got hurt on the hit.
There's Glass.
Can hardly skate.
That's deflected out of play.
That's why Alzner stayed in front of the net instead of going after Tanner Glass, because he's having trouble putting weight on his leg. That was a solid hit by Tanner Glass on Alzner in the corner. Here it comes, set him up, boom. Hits him there, and you can see right away Alzner leaning on the stick. Looked like his right knee went into the boards. So we'll keep an eye on Alzner.
3 minutes in, Zuccarello, Brassard, and Nash back on. Out comes Ovechkin. Breaks to the right side, and a good job by Ryan McDonough, staying right with him and being physical. And then Ovechkin knocked down Zuccarello. Brooks Orpik with the puck. Backstrom back to Orpik. Pass through for John Carlson with room. He shoots high, and he's deflected off the glass. Out comes Rick Nash. Brassard to the right. Brassard moves in. Pass to Zuccarello. Score! Great rush up the ice, and Zuccarello makes it 1-0.
We talked about defense. How about this start? McDonough on Ovechkin. Takes him out of the play. Breaks it up. Now the Rangers come back. This shot will get deflected, I believe. Yes, it hits the leg, I believe, of Carlson or Brassard. Here comes again, or pardon me, Nash. I believe it hit Carlson. That shot would have gone wide as Zuccarello was checked right at the time he shot. He gets it for 2 at his bounce. The Rangers take the lead.
Matt Zuccarello coming up with a big early goal. His 7th of the season, and maybe Rick Nash's goal.
Yeah, he hit one of the 2. Carlson was there, and Nash was there. And again, that shot would have gone a couple of feet wide.
And that gets the crowd going. Step on. Leads Kreider. Kreider with a pass off the skate of St. Louis. Taken back by Matt Hunwick. He moves deep and shoots off the post.
He can't buy one.
Poor Matt Hunwick. His head goes waved off. Here's an odd man rush for Washington. Joel Ward moves in. Saved by Lundqvist. Played to the side of the net. Lundqvist stopped that. Hunwick able to get it to step on and lifts it out of the zone. 4.5 minutes gone by. First period. And the chance of Henry. Henry up from the crowd. Good play by Kevin Hayes. In the neutral zone. Alzner. His pass was poked away from Troy Brouwer. Brouwer, number 20. Big, strong forward.
They just announced the goal to Rick Nash.
Rick Nash is 21st of the season. He's 2nd in the NHL. Marcus Johansson moves in. That's blocked by Girardi. Johansson's stick was broken. Kevin Hayes heading the other way. Now J.T. Miller. Pass behind. Into Hayes. Oh, it just went off his stick. What a pass from Hagman to Hayes. Almost had an empty net to tuck it in, but it just...
Boy, the Rangers are skating. No, they're skating. They're coming out of their zone with speed, coming through the neutral zone, making plays, able to carry the puck over the blue line. What a start.
Brought out. Dominic Moore sends it in, and Tanner Glass chases after it. Bumped by Mike Green. Dan Boyle, the defenseman in deep. Jesper Fast along the boards, and it's taken away by Michael Latta, number 46. Taken back by Tanner Glass. And the Rangers' speed, which had Barry Trotz, the head coach of Washington, concerned before the game, showed up. Has shown up early in this game.
Yeah, and he said, I've watched his team, and boy, they are fast.
Nash moves in, lost the puck. The goal was Nash's 21st from Zuccarello and Brassard at 3:32. Tyler Seguin of Dallas leads the NHL with 25 goals. Rick Nash is second with 21. Fair check there by Girardi. Puck behind the net, Zuccarello and Ovechkin after it. Ovechkin's pass up the boards taken away by Nash. Moved ahead by Brassard. And Matt Niskanen plays it across. Nate Schmidt, the other defenseman, gave it up to Zuccarello. In comes McDonough. Save Holtby. McDonough behind the net. Now Kreider back to McDonough. Checked by Schmidt. Schmidt was a healthy scratch the last two games. Back in the lineup, Jack Hillen. A healthy scratch. Nice takeaway by Stepan. That's off the glove of Kreider. He recovers. Marty St. Louis moves in. John Carlson is there. St. Louis stays with it. Double team by Ovechkin. And Beagle able to clear it out for Washington. Klein gets over. 7:20 gone by as we get an icing called. Rangers leading 1-0.
Well, again, we focus on how well the Rangers have played defensively. That's what starts this. And then Nash going to the net. Now let's see where the puck hits. Yeah, right off his left ankle. This was going to go wide by a couple of feet, it looked like. And Zuccarello got the shot off the left ankle of Nash. And you know what? Deserving to get a goal like that. For the way he plays, and even last game, you go back to last game, he had so many chances to score and couldn't get any with top-notch scoring chances.
First time this season, Rick Nash had gone 2 straight games without a point. And shut out the last 2 games by Carolina, and comes up with the goals. Matt Zuccarello, by the way, has 7 points now over the last 7 games. Not a 7-game streak. He was stopped in one of the games, but 7 points over the last 7 games for Zuccarello. Niskanen. Kevin Hayes on the forecheck. Kevin's got a ways to go, Joe. Jimmy Hayes, 2 goals last night in Florida. He's got 9.
I know, he better not take any calls from his sister anymore.
Well, we'll get to see his brother Jimmy firsthand next week. Rangers will be at Florida New Year's Eve. Here's Kevin Hayes with 4 goals. Taken away by Nate Schmidt. Troy Brouwer sends it in for Washington. Fox.
Oh, what a play.
Pass.
Beautiful play. A capital player on both sides of him. And he just took his time, was patient, and just a soft little pass off the boards.
In comes Johansson. Pass back from Brouwer to the point. Mike Green winds it deep. Comes around to Kuznetsov. And the pass was blocked and taken away.
Tossed again with a nice calm play in his own zone.
9 minutes gone by in the first. Washington has been held to only 2 shots on goal. Alsner up ahead for Jason Chimera. Burakovsky moves in. Long shot. Good one that went wide. Burakovsky just 19 years old. A first-round draft pick.
He was just recalled from the minors. He went down and played 2 games on the weekend. He's a good-looking young player. Highly, highly talented Swedish player.
Big kid at 6'3", over 200 pounds. Lundqvist backhands at this ball. Quick pass to Stepan. Nice breakout for the Rangers. St. Louis was slowed up the line. Rangers have to get back on side. Kreider went in ahead of the play. Rangers regroup as we come down to the midway point of the first period. Rangers leading 1-0 on the goal by Rick Nash. And a shot that went in off of him, taken by Matt Zuccarello. Nash, after the puck against Carlson, takes it away. Good play. He's hit and pulled down by Ovechkin. Carlson breaks out with the puck. Left it behind him. And Ovechkin knocked down Brassard, and the Rangers challenge Ovechkin. They've had enough of him going around hitting everybody.
Just hear the guy who was in there first, Zuccarello. About half the size, but it doesn't matter.
Ovechkin had been using his size and strength, and finally the Rangers decided they had to answer. Rick Nash has gotten the Rangers going with his 21st goal of the season. John Gianone's had a close-up view of what's going on there, John. Let us know.
I'll tell you what, guys, there's a next-level gear here in speed and intensity and physicality from the Rangers. Maybe it's the schedule. Maybe it's the Christmas break coming up. Maybe it's the standings. It's whatever it is, you could definitely feel it down here. And you know what? It's probably what Alex Ovechkin did as well, because that hit on Ryan McDonagh not 30 seconds into the game, one of the Rangers actually yelled out, "It's going to be that kind of night, guys. Here we go." Meaning Ovechkin's going to try to run over everybody. He hit Nash. He hit Brassard as well. He hit Zuccarello. He hit our guy who's going to be between periods with us, Dan Girardi. So clearly a lot of the talk and a lot of the focus will be on Alexander Ovechkin. So Girardi's in studio, as is Anson Carter. You can send your thoughts and your questions to both of them on Twitter. Use the hashtag NYR. It's fun down here, guys.
Washington, 7 hits in the period. Ovechkin, 4 of the 7.
He's been noticeable. Thanks, John. We'll be looking forward to the between periods activities and watching John eavesdrop on what's happening on the benches there. Rangers a 1-0 lead. 9:35 to go in the first period. The puck came right towards John. He was ready, but his Washington Capitals counterpart, Alan May, was ready as well. Brassard. Good pass to McDonagh. John Carlson is there. The forfeit to Carlson. Lifts it across for Ovechkin. Nice play. Ovechkin. Good play by Marty St. Louis coming back, helping out Dan Boyle. Outstanding play by St. Louis. Jay Beagle moves in. Dan Boyle is there. Beagle shot blocked by Boyle. McDonagh with a hit on Beagle. Boyle moves it to Kreider. Back around to McDonagh. Beagle ties him up. Joel Ward takes over. Pass in front. Saved by Lundqvist. Just off the bench. Brooks Light racing in. Took a good feed. Good pressure here by the Caps. Light against Kreider. Pass for Beagle broken up by McDonagh. Rangers able to gain possession. Get it out of the zone. Stepan puts it in the Washington zone with 8:20 to go in the first. Caps come right back. Niskanen sends it in. Buckland by Klein to J.T. Miller. He was wrapped up by Johansson, but Hayes able to clear it out.
Damn, you know, if Brooks White stays healthy, that's another big plus for this Washington team. He is a good, solid player.
Good hit by Klein. Moving in is Kuznetsov. Offside. Whistle down offside. 7:58 remaining. First period. Rangers get the jump on the Caps, and Henrik Lundqvist makes a tough save.
After John Gianone gave his report, next shift, there's hit number 5 on Matt Zuccarello, and then this scoring chance. What a play by Marty St. Louis. We talked about the Ranger forwards using that back pressure to help out their defense. Good example of it right there. And then Kevin Klein says, well, you know what? We better get in the hitting mix as well. That's a good, solid hit on Troy Brouwer.
It was one of those things where you think, okay, maybe we can dissuade Ovechkin from hitting so much by getting a couple of hits on him. No, it won't happen.
Yeah,
He's too strong.
That's the way he plays the game.
Christmas Day on MSG Network. The Knicks take on the Washington Wizards at the Garden. Live coverage gets underway 11:30 a.m. with Visa Knicks game night, and then Basketball on Christmas Day. The Knicks and the Wizards at noon Thursday on MSG. Kevin Hayes and
Kevin Hayes says, hey, what are you doing? I want a face-off. I came in this game at 32%. I win a face-off, and you're not going to let me count it.
I want everyone I can. Evgeny Kuznetsov taking the draw against Hayes. Rangers send in, played there by Nate Schmidt. Good hit by Kevin Hayes. Johansson with a long pass. Kuznetsov, race for the punt. Henrik ahead of Kuznetsov, icing on the Caps. 7:36 to go. Not many shots on goal in this first period. Alain Vigneault and his team continue their outstanding defensive play.
He's got to be happy with the way they've started this game. They get the first goal of the game. It's a little strange, actually, that they haven't played the Capitals yet in the season. The first time these two teams have met.
And actually, they won't meet again until March. There'll be 2 more games against the Caps in March and 1 in April. Troy Brouwer. Johansson trying to clear. That was blocked by Klein.
Washington hasn't played Pittsburgh yet, and they haven't played Philadelphia yet.
Now that's strange.
They're finished with the Devils. They played the Devils 4 times.
Stephon long pass to Kreider. Sends it back to Hunwick. Rangers 4 shots on goal. Washington 3. That's it. Hopefully leaves it. Rangers have the goal. Scored by Rick Nash on the fine rush up the ice by all 3 forwards. Zuccarello taking the shot.
Boy, that play right there. Girardi stepped right up on Ovechkin. As soon as the puck came to Ovechkin, Girardi was there to break it up.
Girardi with a pass to Zuccarello. Across to McDonough. Toward the net. Saved by Holtby. Niskanen playing it out. And sent right back in by McDonough. Green hard around the boards for Eric Fair. Ovechkin goes back to get it. Interesting talking to Barry Trotz about how he met with Ovechkin and got to know him and got him to buy in to what he wants.
It didn't take much. He said he's the one that has bought into this program more than anyone. That he has been great to coach.
Off the boards by Dominic Moore. Lifted out of play. John Gino.
Good save, Johnny.
Make the save. Yes.
Good save.
John Gino.
Might have to get that right hand checked.
I'll tell you what, guys. One of these days, this is going to stop, I promise.
Way to stay sharp, John.
Good save. Here's Girardi, by the way. Sorry, John. But this was a pretty good play. We just had to show.
Oh, man.
And we showed both good plays. Your save and the defensive play by Girardi.
John, get Ovechkin to sign that puck, would you please? Bounces down. Mark Stahl takes over. Tipped into the cap zone. Orpik. And brought out by Burakovsky. Chimera's pass was blocked. Carlson playing it to Michael Lotta. Lotta across to Burakovsky. Burakovsky banned on it. Gets knocked down by Mark Stahl. Chimera moves in. This is Michael Lotta. That went off of Lundqvist. Hagelin dumps it in and chases after. Carlson gets over. Good hit by Hagelin. Kevin Klein. Now Dominic Moore takes it deep and fires. Stick save, Holtby. Chimera forced back by J.T. Miller.
This game's got an edge to it.
Yep.
Unlike the 2 games they just played with Carolina, this one's got a little nastiness to it. What's wrong with that?
No,
during the holiday season. And everybody in the right mood.
Everyone wants to finish off this stretch with a big win and a real happy holiday break. Dominic Moore ahead for Tanner Glass. Cap send it away. Moore knocks it down and dumps it in. Tanner Glass toward the net, blocked by Jay Beagle. There's Brooks Light. Stahl is there, poked it away. Light tries to get it back and Stahl with that long reach. Hand establish that stick as well as anyone. Great timing on these stick checks. Like, tied up there by Jesper Fast. Mark Stahl brings it out. It's taken away by Kuznetsov. Another first-round pick. Washington Capitals have 11 first-round picks in their lineup tonight. 9 of their own and 2 they acquired. This is an icing on the Caps with 3:40 to go here in the first. Let's check out that great save by John Giannone.
Takes everybody to have a 6-game winning streak. Sam, there it is. It wasn't your classic positional save. A little bit on the defensive side, but nonetheless his positioning was good.
Protected the upper half of the net.
Yeah, that's experience there, guys.
As a stand-up goalie, if I ever
That's
saw.
called the cross-arm save.
Notice at least my eyes were on the ice.
You got the awareness. Step on one the draw. Hunwick to Boyle. Winds it deep for Kreider. Kreider comes out. Alsner checking him. Hunwick gave it up to Johansson. Good pass for Brouwer, but off his stick. And Boyle sends it ahead. Mike Green gave it up.
Rangers just have not allowed Washington any flow in this first period. Again, granted, Washington played last night. Sometimes it takes a little while to get going, but the Rangers have played a real strong defensive period.
Washington played at home last night. Flew in after the game, but did not skate today. Long shot by Ovechkin, stopped by Lundqvist. Here's Backstrom, save Lundqvist. Cleared aside by McDonough.
That shot by Ovechkin was a difficult save for Lundqvist. Boy, he can make something that looks like it's going to be an easy save very difficult.
Gave it away to Zuccarello, who shoots. Glove save by Holtby. That time Ovechkin guilty of a giveaway. And now a sneak peek of the Netflix original new series, Marco Polo.
The Capitals have had just 5 shots on goal with 2:38 to go in this first period. Here's one of the big reasons why. Look at how the Rangers move the puck. Lundqvist, nice job there, up into the corner, gets the puck away from everyone. Rangers out of the zone. This nice little play by Foss. 2 Capital players there. He gets to pass both of them out of the zone. Here's another play. Dan Boyle, pass to the middle. Rangers easily out of their zone. That's the way most of this first period's been played in the Ranger zone.
Hayes and Beagle for the face-off. Caps have 5 shots on goal in this first period. 2 of them by Alex Ovechkin. Both long shots, but dangerous shots. Hayes with a long shot that went off of John Carlson. Hagelin around the net. Right through the crease it goes. Shot by Stahl. Miller tried to stuff it in, but it hit the post.
Well, and then he got cross-checked by Orpik, and Orpik knew right away it was a penalty, but he saved a goal. Miller was going to put that puck in the empty net on the short side, and Brooks Orpik, they're going to show this and say this is a good penalty to take because he prevented a goal. Here's the work by the Rangers again. The shot, there it is in the crease, and just before Miller can get there, he finds it. He's going to put it in, right? Oh, he did get a piece of it. And just at the time he got a piece of it, that's a great save, too, by Holtby. But the cross-check by Brooks Orpik hammered him, and the Rangers get a late power play.
First power play of the game, first penalty of the game. Orpik for cross-checking at 17:47. And this Rangers power play is presented by Volkswagen.
Boy, that was a great save by Holtby. I didn't think he was able to get over there, but that's the way he's been playing in goal for the Caps.
McDonough drops it back to Brassard. McDonough, Brassard, step on, St. Louis, and Nash for the power play. Around the boards, off the glass, and all the way back into the Ranger zone.
Yeah, and you'll see some pressure here. There's Brouwer. He'll put pressure up front. Like is right behind him. Nice job by the Rangers to clear the zone.
Rangers continue to struggle on the power play. This is Brooks Light coming in shorthanded. Stepan comes back to take it away. Rangers 2 for 8 over the last 3 games on the power play, but 2 for 20 over the last 7.
Derek Brassard said, we just haven't had many power plays, so we haven't been in a rhythm. I said, what do you do when you haven't? He says it's never a bad idea just to shoot the puck a little bit more often.
Caps penalty killing, giving up only 3 power play goals over the last 9 games. 21 for 24. Boyle leads Miller. Miller goes across to Girardi. Zuccarello, Miller, and Kreider up front with Girardi and Dan Boyle. Here's Boyle. Moving down. Good check by Mike Green. Kreider winds it. And Matt Niskanen takes over. Under a minute to go in this first period. 25 seconds to go on the power play. JT Miller stopped by Eric Fehr. Fehr has got a long reach. And good play. Zuccarello holding. Klein leaves it for Zuccarello. Swings it back. Kreider. Klein with a shot blocked on the way in with a stick by Beagle. Beagle's stick was broken. Power play is over. Stahl feeds Klein. His shot blocked by Beagle. He's without a stick, and it's cleared out by Fehr. Good job by the Caps. Rangers did not get a shot on goal in the power play. First period comes to an end. But again, we talked about team defense. Rangers team defense shuts down Washington. No goals in the first period. Only 5 shots on goal. Rangers score on the shot by Zuccarello that went in off Rick Nash.
Well, they cleared the puck out of their own zone quickly and efficiently. They didn't let Ovechkin get going. Ovechkin was physical but didn't have the puck all that often. And Backstrom, you hardly mention his name. Good defensive period.
Rangers head off with a 1-0 lead. End of the first. We head to the studio. Al Trotwig standing by. Al, what's happening?
Hey, Sam, it's the Delta Intermission Report. I'll be talking to Dan Girardi. We'll talk about handling Alexander Ovechkin, which the Rangers did do in that first period. Bill Pito has the Audi MSG 150. Both the Islanders and Devils are home tonight. And Anson Carter will talk about the Rangers' team defense he's seen so far after one period. It's all coming up on the Delta Intermission Report. The Rangers and Capitals playing like it means something, because it does. A big matchup tonight at Madison Square Garden. Rick Nash has the only goals, and that's where we stand.
We are back on a great night for hockey in New York City. What a great time. The city decorated beautifully. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Alexander Ovechkin, he's had a lot of hits in this game. There's been some good hitting in this game. So now it's time for our Timberland Pro Hard Hits highlights, Joe.
Well, we had 24 hits in the first period, 13 of those by Washington, 5 of the 13 by number 8. And he made sure he let everybody know he was out there. But the Rangers hit back hard as well. Everyone was involved. This was a good, hard-fought first period of hockey. Kevin Klein with a good hit. There's another Ovechkin hit. The Rangers tried to stick together. This Washington team doing the same thing. That was a good period of hockey.
Two teams. See the numbers.
Yeah, 2 teams, Sam. They've been playing well for a month. We've been watching Washington continue to get better and move up the standings. The Rangers, of course, have won 6 in a row. And just, I think, a lot of anticipation, for this game tonight between these 2 teams.
This is a good rivalry which developed with so many meetings between these 2 teams in the playoffs. Yep. Initially, the Caps had the Rangers number. Then the Rangers beat the Caps in that series that put the Rangers in the conference final against the Devils a couple of years ago. So it's developed into a real good rivalry. Kevin Klein, certainly one of the more physical players on the Rangers. Matt Zuccarello had that shot that went in off of Rick Nash, and look who he's opposite.
He's been right in the middle. Ovechkin gives him a little push right off the start.
Orpik and Carlson paired on defense. Rick Nash with Zuccarello and Brassard. McDonough and Girardi for the Rangers. Ovechkin and Girardi after the puck. Girardi moves it. Zuccarello tied up by Nicholas Backstrom. And a whistle. Penalty upcoming. Ovechkin had the puck. And Backstrom knocked down Zuccarello, and it looks like, or was it Ovechkin?
I think it was Ovechkin. Sam, let's see. Maybe it's Brooks Orpik.
No, it is Ovechkin.
Yeah, it is Ovechkin. He didn't like the call, but he ran into Zuccarello, and I believe it was a boarding call. Here comes Ovechkin. Now there it is, a little from the side, a little from behind, more of a push than anything, but he's so strong that it doesn't take much. And you know what? I didn't like the call. I really didn't. He hardly touched it.
Wasn't much.
It wasn't much.
Yeah.
A game like this, let him play.
Second penalty of the game, both to the Caps. This Rangers power play presented by Volkswagen. Ovechkin for boarding at 27 seconds. Rangers did not get a shot on goal on their first power play. Stepan, Brassard, Nash, St. Louis, and Dan Boyle. Here's Nash with the puck. Stepan out to Boyle with room. Takes the shot. Saved by Holtby. Good hard shot by Boyle. Brassard to Boyle. He moves in. Feed to St. Louis. He scores! Marty St. Louis. It's a power play goal. It's 2-0 Rangers.
What a fake by Dan Boyle after he received a beautiful pass with time, and then I think everyone thought he was going to take the shot. He took it there, but now watch the time he has here. So he's going to shoot it right. Goaltender freezes. Perfect little pass to the side, and St. Louis wasted no time at all. Not a great angle, but we've seen Marty St. Louis score from that spot many, many times in his career. But that fake shot and pass by Dan Boyle, and guess what? He finally gets an assist.
There you
His
go.
first assist of the season for Dan Boyle.
Marty St. Louis had gone 7 games without a goal. He scores his 11th, his 4th power play goal leads the team, and the Rangers have a 2-goal lead. Icing on the Rangers. What a big start. So the penalty, marginal penalty called on Alexander Ovechkin. Rangers make him pay. And Marty St. Louis with a big one. We go down between the benches. John Giannone, what are they talking about down there?
I'll tell you what they're talking about to my right in the Capitals. Alexander Ovechkin went ballistic when he got out of the penalty box, as you would expect. Jason Chimera was also just giving one of the referees a piece of his mind, wanting to know how in the world can you call that a penalty?
Thanks, John. Eric Furlan and Dan O'Rourke are the referees. Kevin Hayes puts it in the Cap zone. Carl Alsner chased by J.T. Miller. And the play was whistled down. It was an offside. St. Louis gets the goal, his 11th from Boyle and Brassard at 1:03. Derek Brassard with 2 assists in the game after a couple of games getting his strength back. There's Dan Boyle getting his first assist of the season. And the Rangers with a 2-0 lead on the Caps. John Carlson. Rangers have Zuccarello, Nash, and Brassard on. Fair plays it off the boards, intercepted by Brassard. He's hit by Ovechkin. And the puck carried by Eric Fair. And Girardi missed Fair, who cuts in, and it was knocked aside. John Carlson toward the net. That's blocked and never got through. Backstrom against Nash. Rangers able to clear it out. And Brooks Orpik has it back. Off the skate of Ovechkin. It's played away by Girardi. McDonough's pass ahead for Dominic Moore. Moore is bumped by Orpik. Moore keeping it alive, and it's taken away, and the Caps pass by Fair was knocked down by Kevin Klein as he was looking to lead Ovechkin into the zone. Ovechkin takes the body on Kevin Klein. Lundqvist with a long pass. It's sent in by Tanner Glass. Glass against Nate Schmidt. Michael Lotta, number 46. And we'll move it. Chimera's pass to Burakovsky. And across comes Mike Green. He's stopped by Mark Stahl with a good stick check again. I don't know if anyone uses the stick better on defense than Mark Stahl.
No, it's hard to find somebody that's better at that.
Oh, give away to Moore's shot by Glass is a save by Holtby. Moore's pass comes through. Jason Chimera able to get out with it.
Tanner Glass has had a couple of good chances these last 2 games.
St. Louis wrapped up by Chimera. Lotta takes it back for Washington. Burakovsky. Moving in is Jay Beagle just off the bench, and he shot. Is swallowed it up by Henrik Lundqvist.
Dan, we're going to go back to this goal, and 2 beautiful passes. Here's the first shot, and then if we freeze it there, you see Stepan here, and then Brassard here, and it goes here, 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 and for the goal. Beautiful pass, both on the backhands, and then the fake shot and the finish by St. Louis.
And we can tell you, we've said this before, every night, as they finish up pregame warm-ups, Marty St. Louis must take a dozen shots from the bottom of the circle.
He
That
does.
same way he just shot the puck.
He doesn't have much room over there, but he knows how to put it in from that angle.
Kreider is checked by Niskanen. This is Stepan against Beagle. And Brooks Lackey will chip it out of the zone. Rangers a 2-0 lead. 4 minutes gone by, second period. Kreider was stopped, but a penalty called on the Caps, a slashing call.
Alzner will get this one. The Rangers make the play in the neutral zone. They stop the play. They get it going the other way. And then there's the slash by Alzner, 27, coming from the left side of your screen. And the Rangers, what an opportunity. As they already have scored 1 power play goal in the period. Now they get another chance. Concerned look on the head coach's face.
Yeah. Barry Trotz no doubt wondering, wait a second, 3 penalties in the game, all to my team. Alzner for slashing at 3:59. Rangers 1 for 2 on the power play. Dan Boyle's got the puck. Now Derek Stepan heading in. Shot went off the defenseman John Carlson. St. Louis, Brassard, Stepan and Nash with Dan Boyle for the Rangers power play. Boyle brings it across, slowed down by Orpik, and it's cleared by Troy Brouwer.
Just watch this Washington, pardon me, Sam. They watch this Washington team kill penalties. They're aggressive.
Stepan carrying all the way. Lost control as he met up with Matti Niskanen. St. Louis gets it back to Dan Girardi. Nash turns and shoots, saved by Holtby. And the rebound, St. Louis got to it. And Holtby made another save. Saturday night on MSG Network, the Rangers take on Jaromir Jagr and the New Jersey Devils. Live coverage begins at 6:30 with Visa Rangers game night with Al Troutwig. And then it's the Rangers and the Devils at 7 right here on MSG. John Giannone will have the play-by-play. Dave Maloney will join the TV group down between the benches.
And Sam can't stand the cold anymore.
I've got to go to Tampa. I have to. It's 75 degrees. I have to be there.
You need a spotter?
Long shot blocked in front. Zuccarello shot. That's blocked. And the Caps able to clear.
Yeah, real good shot block on the second one by Niskanen. Zuccarello.
Up ahead. JT Miller's dump in was blocked by Mike Green, and the Caps able to clear all the way down again. 40 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Rangers with a 2-0 lead for early second period. Good pass to Miller. He leads Nash. Nash against Beagle. In after it is Miller. Beagle trying to move it. Nash digging for it. Beagle able to get it by Zuccarello to Fair, and Eric Fair comes out with it. Winds up, that went off the skate of McDonough. Big rebound, carries out, and it's picked up by Zuccarello. Moves across with Nash and Brassard. Zuccarello to Nash, and just went off his stick, just couldn't control it. Enough to tee up a shot. Power play is over. Rangers had 3 shots on goal on that power play. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. St. Louis for Kreider. He's open. He shoots off the post. And it's played by Backstrom. 6:15 gone by in the second. Rangers lead 2-0. Mike Green. Good feed to Backstrom. Turns back, sets up Ovechkin. Saved by Lundqvist, and he holds it. Ovechkin has had 3 shots on goal, all 3 from long distance. The Rangers have a 2-0 lead. 6:24 gone by in the second. Marty St. Louis with a power play goal. 2-0 Rangers. Take a look at the Metropolitan Division standings brought to you by Kia. See the Caps in 3rd place. Rangers 2 games in hand, 2 points behind. But the Rangers right now, those 38 points put them in the number 8 spot in the conference, and that's the last playoff spot. Rangers a wild card team, but right behind the Rangers in the race for the wild card, the Florida Panthers are right there, Joe. They've been playing very, very well. Had a big shootout win against Pittsburgh last night.
They never lose in a shootout. They played all kinds of overtime games, and they just keep winning those shootouts. Haven't lost yet.
Eric Fair and Derek Brassard for the face-off. Brassard wins it back. McDonough pressured by Backstrom, and Fair takes it away up to Orpik. Orpik to Backstrom. Checked there by McDonough. Fair tried to get it to Ovechkin. He did. Ovechkin pass across, tipped away by Brassard. Fair was cutting to the net. Backstrom to Fair. Winds up. Big drive. Save by Lundqvist, and he holds it.
Boy, what a good
Ovechkin
job.
Battling Girardi in front.
Girardi did a really good job on Ovechkin. He looked, saw Ovechkin trying to get to the front of the net, and he just positioned himself on the side, so that left a lane open for Lundqvist. And there you see the Caps and how they started and where they've been lately.
Yeah, as Barry Trotz told us before the game, it took time for the changes to sink in, but look at the last 9 games. A point, at least 1 point in each of the 9 games, 7-0-2. And Braden Holtby, the goaltender, starting all 9 of those games. But here the Rangers with a 2-0 lead. The dump in, played by Mike Green. Just over 7 minutes gone by in the second period. Green's pass blocked in center by Mark Stahl, knocked away from Johansson. And back for it, Nate Schmidt. Kevin Klein is tied up along the boards by Johansson. And Schmidt plays it to Mike Green. Green doesn't seem to be more of as much as a big threat as he's been in the past, Joe.
Well, you know what, Sam? That's starting to come back for him. Not in this game because of the way the Rangers have played.
Miller, good hustle. Fires across, just missed by Dominic Moore.
And I talked to Mike Green before the game today, and he said he's finally healthy.
This is Burakovsky. Checked there by Kevin Klein. Puck comes to Hunwick.
Sam, this was the first summer that Mike Green's been able to work at it again.
Hayes moves deep, drags and shoots it. It's blocked. Good move by Kevin Hayes. Chimera able to get it out of the zone.
And just to finish that, the previous 4 summers he was hurt, Mike Green. So it's taken time for him to get healthy, and now he's starting to get that offense back in his game. 17 points this season for him in 25 games.
Alsner's pass was tipped. Dan Boyle takes over. And Hunwick slides it ahead, and the Rangers come out. Good feed to Boyle. Now J.T. Miller with a shot deflected by Orpik and played by Michael Lotta. Lotta waits. Orpik. And McDonough goes back to get it. Rangers have held the Caps to only 8 shots on goal. And we are coming down to the midway point of the second period. 11:02 to go in the second. Experience blue shirt action in a suite at Madison Square Garden this season. A limited number of single night suites are now available. Visit NewYorkRangers.com/suites or call 212-465-6771 to reserve yours today. Rangers control, but the clearing attempt deflects out of play into the Washington bench. Just under 11 minutes to go. And Joe, remember those games where the Caps, they'd have 8 shots in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Right. Ovechkin has 2 shots, both in the first period.
Backstrom and Broussard on the faceoff. Broussard won it back. Kept in by Carlson. That shot deflects wide. Ovechkin gets to it, but Girardi takes it away.
Oh, what a move. What a move by Dan Girardi.
What a roar from the crowd.
Threw it off the boards behind him, spun the other way, passed Ovechkin, retrieved the puck, and cleared it.
Ovechkin along the boards. Plays it to John Carlson. Into the middle, Nash is there. That's the type of team defense we're talking about. Rick Nash comes back and intercepts a pass in the middle of the ice.
He's done it all season, and now the rest of the team is playing that way as well. In particular, the forwards coming back to help out.
Backstrom with a good rush into the Rangers zone. Klein hit by Joel Ward. Ovechkin still on the ice. Rangers take it away, and Stepan carries out. His pass in the skates of Kreider. Rangers were offside on the play. 10:03 to go in the second.
Now, Girardi, as we mentioned, is playing mostly left wing this year, so he's a lot on the side of Girardi. Here's the play Girardi makes. Look at that. Behind the back, off the boards. Ovechkin going one way. He slides by the other. What a good move by Girardi. Smooth, and the Rangers clear the zone easily.
Rangers' attention to detail, Joe, has been so sharp in this game.
You see the matchup there. Girardi's been on the ice for 8 of Ovechkin's 11 shifts in this game.
McDonough, the puck bounced over his stick. Looks like chasing in on him. Joel Ward was there as well. Girardi able to play it to St. Louis. Quick pass to Kreider. Kreider one-on-one with Green. Drops it off to Stepan. He shoots, saved by Holtby. 9:42 to go. Second period. Rangers playing strong defense and some good offense as well. Now, I know winter has just started, but when we get to spring, you don't want to miss Broadway's biggest spectacular. It'll be at Radio City Music Hall. It's the New York Spring Spectacular starring the Rockettes. March 12th through May 3rd. Visit Rockettes.com/spring. It's going to be a great, great show. And before you get to spring, visit Radio City Music Hall and see the Christmas show. The Christmas Spectacular. Don't want to miss that either. Takeaway by Marcus Johansson. Moves across. Dan Boyle is there. The drop feed. Kuznetsov back to Johansson. And a good play by J.T. Miller. Miller dumps it in. Carl Alsner hit by Miller. Johansson wrapped up by Hagelin. And Alsner takes it in and fires around the boards. Under checked by Kuznetsov. Boyle moves it up too far for Miller. Eric Fair plays it ahead. Rangers a 2-0 lead. Just under 9 minutes to go. Second period. And great defensive work by the Rangers has held Washington to just 8 shots on goal. Fair looking for it. And it's brought out by Dominic Moore. Nate Schmidt swings it around to Mike Green. Fair chips it out. And Zuccarello with a good play. Leads Nash. Down the middle goes Dominic Moore. Schmidt banging it off the boards and out of the zone. McDonough comes over to get it. That's intercepted by Backstrom. Brings it right back in. Backstrom checked by McDonough. Got a piece of it. Backstrom has it back. Schmidt. That went off the netting.
Well, we're going to the Capitals. We stop this play here. You'll see these two players. They both go this way to the puck carrier, and Miller's the late man that comes back to make the defensive play. They go there, and there's Miller. Look at that stick. Nice job by J.T. Miller defensively. Generally, when two players crisscross, you want to stay in your lane. You have to communicate a defenseman and a forward to stay in your lane so that doesn't happen. But Miller covered up nicely. Rangers are going to be short-handed here, I believe.
Off the face-off, a tripping call.
And Joe Ward got tripped on the play right off the face-off.
Chris Kreider goes to the penalty box. And the Caps will have their first power play of the game.
And this is a great power play. It really is. There's the stick between the legs. That's the right call. And this power play is lethal. You'll have Ovechkin on 1 point on the left side. Green on 1. You'll see Brouwer in the high slot. You'll see Backstrom on the half boards.
Chipped out by Stepan. 2-on-1 with Nash. Stepan moves in. Pass to Nash. Off the post. Went off his skate and off the post. Backstrom takes it back. Rick Nash, who has 3 shorthanded goals this season, almost had another. Nash gets it out of the zone.
Makes a good defensive play there.
Oh, nice pass from Backstrom with the skate to Marcus Johansson. McDonough pushes it behind the net. Backstrom picks it up. Stepan and Hagelin on now. Take away by Ovechkin. Girardi and McDonough, the defensive pair.
Yeah.
Johansson feeding Backstrom out to Green. Now to Ovechkin. And that went off of Girardi. Backstrom has it. McDonough's there. Set up for Brouwer. Is kicked away with the right pad by Lundqvist. Stepan to Hagelin. Stepan goes for a change. Hagelin all by himself. Caps take it away. Ovechkin on the move. And he's stopped by Kevin Klein. Good play by Klein. 40 seconds to go in the Washington power play. Rangers penalty killing has been good of late. And Fost able to sweep it clear.
Now you can just see how dangerous that power play is when Backstrom's on the ice. He gets it on the half boards. He's got Ovechkin as an option, Brouwer as an option, Green as an option.
Kuznetsov's pass. Burakovsky got it back to Carlson. Shot blocked, hustling for the puck. Kevin Hayes, he moves in, fakes, holds. His shot deflected away by Carlson. And a penalty upcoming. It's on the Caps.
Kuznetsov hooked Tanner Glass.
So the Rangers penalty is over. They'll go on the power play as the Caps take a penalty.
Rick Nash nearly scored his 4th shorthanded goal of the season. Here's Stepan. Good pass just off the skate, and then Nash just can't reach it. Here's our Coke Zero super slow-mo angle. Nash again just can't reach it. It goes off the post and out the other way. And then Kuznetsov, 92, gets his stick up onto the hands of Tanner Glass and takes the penalty.
You think that might have been ruled a kick by Nash?
No.
Okay.
Just me. I thought it was just a hard pass that hit his skate. And he didn't have time to kick it.
Kuznetsov for hooking at 14:03. And that one goes off the post. Nash, Brassard, St. Louis, Stepan, and Boyle. Rangers' 4th power play of the game. 1 for 3. Nash, St. Louis, Brassard's in front. Nash fires it across, tipped out of the zone. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. 5.5 minutes to go in the second period. Dan Boyle drops it back. And Derek Brassard carries. Feeds Stepan. Back for Brassard. Brassard keeping it alive with the skates. Caps take it away. Chimera able to clear it out. Chimera and Joel Ward on for Washington. The whistle. Too many men on the ice for the Rangers. Ooh. And JT Miller heads for the penalty box. That ends the Rangers power play with 1:09 left in the penalty.
I have an idea it was JT Miller. You got all these blue jerseys right here. That's 6 of them. That's too many.
At 14:54, the penalty being served.
And so JT Miller, I think, tried to get to the bench, and the coach said, "Why don't you go serve?" Just have a feeling it was him. Just have a feeling.
I think you have a pretty good feeling. Islanders are trailing Montreal 2-1 late second period in their game on Long Island. Rangers too many men on the ice at 14:54. So the team skating 4 aside. Provided there are no other penalties, the Caps will have the power play advantage. That shot went wide. Played by Fost. Rangers have Fost and Dominic Moore with Kevin Klein and Mark Stahl. Brooks Light for Washington. Eric Fair for up the boards for Alzner. Fair takes it back. Brooks Light checked by Kevin Klein. Stahl moves in. Again, uses that stick, takes the puck away. Good play by Mark Stahl. Pass got knocked down. Dominic Moore picks it up. Stopped by Carlson. Backstrom leads Alzner. Up ahead, Brouwer. Troy Brouwer moves in on Dan Girardi. Brouwer's pass blocked by Zuccarello. Rangers have done a good job in the middle of the ice. These passes, cross-ice passes, they're being blocked, they're deflected away. Caps are on their second power play of the game. With 47 seconds remaining,
they're saying that they're saying
Icing?
Girardi iced it before the Capitals player came out of the penalty box. And that's what the argument is with the Ranger players.
Paul Hagelin questioning the call.
They lose the argument.
They thought they would. Backstrom and Zuccarello for the face-off. Zuccarello and Hagelin with McDonough and Girardi. Rangers win the draw. McDonough able to clear all the way down.
Nice job by Zuccarello to win the face-off.
Green leads Ovechkin.
He generally doesn't kill penalties, so he wins it, they clear it, and he can get off the ice.
Green with a good job to keep in, then he's tied up by Stepan. Backstrom against McDonough. McDonough helps out Girardi. One push played behind the net. Brouwer gets it to Johansson. Out to Green, out to Ovechkin. Nash got a piece of that and hit the referee. McDonough able to play it ahead. Cleared out by Stepan for Nash. Nash breaks in. Nash shoots. And Mike Green got a piece of it, deflected it out of play in the netting with 3:05 to go. And the Rangers have killed off the Caps power play.
Yeah, it's beautiful passing. A couple of good passes from behind the net to the far side. That they knew Nash was over there, and Mike Green reacted beautifully to come across and get his stick on the shot by Rick Nash. Rangers are defending that guy pretty well.
Yes. Yeah, they've done an excellent job. Caps have had only 10 shots on goal in the game. Ovechkin has 3. Looks like carrying deep. Trying to get out in front, taken away by Marty St. Louis. Brought back in, Matty Niskanen. For Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov checked there by Stepan, and that pass blocked by Kreider again in the middle of the ice. Rangers doing an excellent job of blocking the passing lanes. Burakovsky. Now Light puts it out in front, and Kreider plays it aside. I think everyone was surprised in front that the puck popped out. That shot blocked by Boyle, goes out of play. 2:15 to go in the second, and now it's time for the Cadillac Trivia question of the night. This has to do with Alex Ovechkin, who's tied with Pavel Bure for third most NHL goals by a Russian-born player at 437. Who are the top 2? You know this, Joe. I know you know this.
I have a decent idea.
Decent? Oh,
I have a good
this.
idea.
You know this.
I have a good idea.
All right.
I'm not 100% sure.
Really?
No.
I'll help you out.
I think I know who.
Okay. If you need help, call me. Face-off win by Dominic Moore. Put out in front and a good play by Moore. Mark Stahl. Pass went off the stick of Fost. A big hit on Carlson by Tanner Glass. Michael Latta. Pass in front was missed by Beagle. That shot is a save by Lundqvist. I think the Rangers thought it went up into the netting, and it did.
Yeah, I thought it did.
Out of play.
Beagle didn't realize it at the time. And now Tanner Glass jumps in. And now they get everyone separated. And then Henrik Lundqvist. Watch the stick by Lundqvist here. Beautiful reaction as Beagle was on the other side, waiting to try and slip one past, and Lundqvist uses the stick very well to deflect the pass.
Tanner Glass had a good hit on John Carlson. I think Tanner Glass may be the hardest hitting forward the Rangers have.
I agree with you. Yeah, he's 215 pounds, solid.
Lotta against Moore. Klein able to move it to Tanner Glass, who lifts it out of the zone. Carlson back forward. Jesper Fast checking him. All the way down it goes. And this will be an icing on the Caps with a minute 37 to go in the second. Monday night, go back home to Sweden with Henrik Lundqvist and see how it all began for the Rangers goaltender on an all-new beginnings presented by Melrose Credit Union. Monday night following Rangers and Dallas Stars on MSG. And if you haven't seen those beginning shows, those shows are terrific. Great insight, great fun, and you learn a lot about the players.
They really do. So well done. I watched the one. Oops. Speaking of, I was just going to say, I watched Zuccarello's beginnings the other night back in Norway, and as I was watching that, he's heading to the penalty box.
With a minute 32 to go, Zuccarello for tripping.
Stick right on the skates, as you'll see here. And Beagle goes down, actually got him up a little bit higher than the skates.
Zuccarello didn't like it, thinking Beagle took a little bit of a dive. But nevertheless, the call made, and the Rangers shorthanded for the third time in the game. Caps are 0 for 2 on the power play with 2 shots. Caps are second overall in the NHL on the power play, but recently 1 for 10 over the last 3 games and only 2 for 16 over the last 5.
And if you can, you have to try and not allow Backstrom to set up on the half boards with all those options. Such a great passer. There's good pressure there.
McDonough and Girardi with Moore and Hagelin for the power play.
Nice work. Beautiful passing.
Long shot by Dominic Moore. Caps are also number 1 on the power play on the road in the NHL. Under a minute to go in the second. Rangers leading 2-0. Mike Green on the carry. Stopped by Mark Stahl. Good play and lifted on the backhand by Nash out of the zone. Backstrom to Johansson. Marcus Johansson fires around the boards. Backstrom for Johansson. Taken away by Stepan. Stepan tried to feed Nash to pass a little behind him. And Ovechkin back forward with 25 seconds to go in the period. Off the stick of Kuznetsov. Stahl takes over. All the way down it goes.
Well, what a job of penalty killing. And not allowing Washington to get set up. Good pressure.
There's Tanner Glass. He's come back from his bout with the mumps, Joe, and he's been skating as well as he has all season.
Well, he said this morning he just got his energy back. It took him a few games, and you're right, he is skating now. And the Rangers are the team that's been skating through 2 periods, allowing Washington just 11 shots on goal through 2 periods. The Rangers have 18. The Rangers have also been the only team to score twice as they lead it after 2.
Caps 28 seconds to go in their power play into the 3rd period, but the Rangers defense outstanding. 2-0 Rangers lead end of 2. Down to the studio to Al Trotwig. Al.
Sam, coming up, it's the New York Lottery Intermission Report. I'll be talking to Dan Boyle, who had an assist on the Rangers' 2nd goal of the game, and it was a power play goal. Bill Pito has the MSG 150, updating us on the Islanders and Devils, and then I'll be joined by Anson Carter to break down what he has seen through 2 periods of play. Very impressive performance by the Rangers tonight. A lot of really slick moves, a lot of decisive moves. Penalties becoming a factor in that 2nd period for both teams, but it's still 2-0 favoring the Rangers off that Marty St. Louis power play goal.
We are back. If you're in New York, you know how beautiful it is at holiday time. Hope you're enjoying the holiday season. New York Rangers hockey on MSG is presented by Chase. Let's answer that Cadillac trivia quiz as Alex Ovechkin questions the referee about some calls. He's tied with Pavel Bure for third most NHL goals by a Russian-born player. Who are the top two, Joe?
Well, I'm going to go with Sergei Fedorov and Alexander Mogilny.
You are 100% right.
But I had a little doubt in my mind. I should have called you.
You know what? I would have helped you out anytime. Fedorov at 483, Mogilny 473, and here comes Ovechkin. John Ginone talked to Ulf Samuelsson. What are the coaches thinking, John?
Interesting, Sam. Some good words from Ulf Samuelsson. He said that the puck support and willingness to want the puck has been great, and it's been key so far for the Rangers. He said it's been great for our defensemen. Usually when they go back in their own zone, there's only one option for them. Tonight, though, there's been two or three. The forwards are filling the lanes, and it's made our breakouts a lot easier. When I asked him about Alex Ovechkin and what they've done well against him so far, he said, five-man effort. He can certainly beat you one-on-one, sometimes one-on-two, like we saw the other night, Ulf said. He said if we get people around him, we can be a lot more brave with our gaps. We saw him rim the puck around the boards 3 or 4 times tonight, Samuelsson said, and that's a strong indication that we are playing him the right way.
Thanks, John. John always comes up with good stuff from the coaches. Underway third period, Rangers shorthanded, but Matt Zuccarello has only 18 seconds to go in his penalty. Mike Green works it ahead to Nicholas Backstrom. This is Marcus Johansson, checked there by McDonough. Backstrom swings it around to Ovechkin. Back the other way to Backstrom. Now Johansson. Zuccarello set to return. Brouwer gets a shot off, kicked away. Shot by Johansson, saved by Lundqvist. He holds it. The Caps power play is over. Lundqvist making a couple of big saves early in the third.
Well, they don't need much time. Look at in the slot. Brouwer always ready to shoot. Backstrom gives him the puck. Lundqvist left pad first, and then the second one into the chest by Johansson. 2 good saves to start this third.
Rangers send on Brassard, Nash, and Zuccarello with Stahl and Klein. Brooks Orpik. Shot went wide. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. That's deflection that was stopped. Brooks Laich in front with a good deflection. Nice defensive play by Stahl. Boy, has he been outstanding in this game. Carlson with a shot. Save with a left pad. Another save by Lundqvist. Puck still loose. Lundqvist has it under the glove.
That's about 5 quality scoring chances to start this third period for Washington. Lundqvist getting over in a hurry, but his ability to find the puck with all those bodies in the crease, and Lundqvist gets it. Save, second save, gets over, third save, and then where's the puck? Where's the puck? He sees it, uses that glove to scoop it up quickly.
Caps have come out with some big-time pressure in this opening minute, Joe.
Well, it started with the power play. They get a couple good chances. They keep some early momentum from those chances. And then Lundqvist with his best saves of the game.
Lotta won the face-off. Rangers try to break out. Carlson with a shot fought off by Lundqvist. Played aside by McDonough. And the outlet to Stepan. Orpik is back. Stepan with the puck looking. Pass across. Save by Holtby on Marty St. Louis. Good pass from Stepan to St. Louis. Marty St. Louis with one of the 2 goals in the game. Rick Nash has the other one. St. Louis back for Kreider. Kreider moves in against Niskanen. Niskanen stays with him. Chimera back for the puck for Washington. Holding. Digging for it is Dan Boyle. Lotta backhands it out to center where Kevin Hayes stops it. A Let's Go Rangers chant up from the crowd. Caps with 7 shots on goal already in the third period. That's what we talked about earlier. This team capable of getting a lot of chances in a hurry. Johansson checked by Klein. Stahl moves the puck. Kuznetsov for Washington. Now Johansson turning. Pass in front was blocked by JT Miller. Kuznetsov Across, Johansson saved by Lundqvist. Now it's Lundqvist's turn to shine. Johansson turns it. Marcus Johansson is going to make a run at the Lady Byng Award. Lady Byng Trophy has no penalty minutes thus far this season.
Boy, what a shift he had. Boy, he's had a couple of chances early.
That pass deflected out of play. 2:46 gone by here in the third period.
Now, and here's Marcus Johansson. He's a talented player. First that mover on Klein, then the hit on Stahl. Stahl goes down. Johansson will get it right back. There's one quick turn and a shot. Stays with it. Wants the puck. Open area. Lundqvist again. Real good shift by Johansson, and Lundqvist stopped him twice.
And suddenly the Caps are out shooting the Rangers 20-19 for the game.
That's 9 shots then, right?
Yeah.
9 shots for Washington to start this third period. 3 minutes.
Nash moving in. Pass across. McDonough's shot tipped away by Eric Fair. Puck went by Girardi. Kept in by Zuccarello.
Looked like the puck might have been on edge a little bit when McDonough took the pass.
Ovechkin got it out to Backstrom. His pass broken up by Girardi. Girardi and McDonough usually on the ice most of the night against Ovechkin and Backstrom. Carlson for Backstrom. That was a pass that went through on goal. Played out of the zone by Tanner Glass. Rangers have Glass, Fost, and Dominic Moore on. Burakovsky tipped ahead by Joel Ward and whistled down for an offside. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Lexus, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Rangers. After the Christmas break, Rangers and Devils here at the Garden Saturday night, 7 p.m. start. Rangers on the road at Dallas next Monday, 8:30 on MSG. And then New Year's Eve, a 6 p.m. start on MSG2. Rangers at the Florida Panthers. All those games preceded by 1/2 hour by Visa Rangers Game Night. Hayes Hagelin and JT Miller for the Rangers. Looks like winning the faceoff. Alsner's pass tipped ahead by Burakovsky, but blocked by Dan Boyle. Rangers send it the other way. A little over 4 minutes gone by. Third period. Rangers with a 2-0 lead. Win by the Rangers would put them ahead of the Washington Capitals, provided it's in regulation time in the standings for third place in the Metropolitan Division. Experience the lounges at Madison Square Garden, a spectacular group and hospitality space on the bridge level. That's where we are. For more information, visit NewYorkRangers.com/lounges. A great place to enjoy Rangers hockey. Caps have come out strong here in the early going of the third period.
They've had the puck this entire time thus far to start this period.
Henrik Lundqvist has been up to the task with a great performance.
Rangers outshot 10-1 here in the third.
Step up, try to get it to Kreider. And the Caps able to clear it out. Stahl, pass was blocked by Lada. Stahl plays it across to Klein. Up the middle, off the stick of Nate Schmidt. Holtby with a long pass for Beagle. Lada taken down on the play by Brassard. Rangers clear it out. Brassard hit by Orpik. Nash takes the puck in against Carlson. He scores! Rick Nash, his second of the game. It's 3-0 Rangers.
And Derek Brassard smartly lets the puck go. Sees Orpik coming, stops, takes the hit, and then this shot, Holtby, I think, would like another chance of that one. I thought maybe initially it was screened by Carlson. Didn't look like it there, but Rick Nash with that wrist shot of his just snaps it inside the post to make it 3-0. Wow, did the Rangers need that?
This guy, everything is going right for him. Another spectacular effort. He scored in the first period, but that goal really belonged to Zuccarello, who had the shot off a good rush and went in off of Rick Nash. But this was a Rick Nash beauty. And the fans serenading Ovi. Or maybe Holtby. I think they're chanting Holtby. Rangers 3-0 lead behind the play. Jesper Fast was involved with Brooks Orpik. That one goes in.
Kuznetsov, I believe, will get credit for this one. He took the shot, Lundqvist, and ended up going through the pads. And Kuznetsov responds quickly. Hunwick pinched in on the play. Boyle comes over. And that shot, boy, Lundqvist has been so good to start this period. And that one just goes off his right arm. Did it hit a stick? Either way, I think Lundqvist probably knew he should have had that one. That one just goes off the right arm and through him. And a quick response for Washington.
For the Caps, a very important goal, giving them some life with just 6 minutes gone by here in the third. Ovechkin and Girardi with a collision. Girardi went down. Rangers, 6:03 gone by in the third. Rangers leading. Joe, time for the Papa John's third goal replay.
Well, this was Zuccarello that just put the puck up the boards. Nash did the rest. There's the wrist shot, and he beats Holtby just inside the post on the short side. And that gave the Rangers at the time a 3-0 lead, and the Capitals responded quickly.
The day after the Rangers score 3 or more goals, get 50% off your regular menu-priced online order at papajohns.com with promo code Rangers3. Available at participating Papa John's locations. Nash playing it out. Nash got his 22nd of the game from Zuccarello at 5:12. Zuccarello with 2 assists in the game. And then 41 seconds later, Kuznetsov with his 4th of the season from Brouwer and Carlson at 5:53. Putting the Caps on the board. Rangers a 3-1 lead. 6:29 gone by here in the third.
Kevin Klein took a short shift with McDonough because Girardi, when he went heavily into the boards with Ovechkin, had to get his skates, lost an edge on his skates. So Klein went out there, and now that there's a whistle, they get everything straightened back out.
Stefan Kreider and St. Louis on. Joel Ward won the face-off. Ward cross to Burakovsky. That's blocked. Good play by Boyle. Gave it away to Light, who sets up Niskanen, and the shot deflected wide. Ward to Burakovsky. He gives it away to Stepan. Fires hard up the boards. It's out of the zone. Caps have really come on strong. The Nash goal slowed their comeback efforts. And the goal by Kuznetsov putting Washington on the board. That's an offside on the Rangers. 12:48 to go here in the third.
Now that's a play right there. The Rangers, they just want to get the puck in deep. Again, you've got a 2-goal lead in the third period. And this is something they did so well through 2 periods. And I'm sure Alain Vigneault reminded his team, let's just keep dumping it in, force Barry Trotz and his team to try and pick it up and have to go 200 feet to make a play.
Klein sends it in. Lifted out by Mike Green. Klein is there against Chimera, and good play by Kevin Klein. Schmidt. Hagelin got a piece of him. Caps able to clear it out. And Lundqvist comes way out to play it. Up ahead for Hayes. Nice pass by Henrik Lundqvist. Hayes to Hagelin. Hagelin, that was deflected by Green. And then J.T. Miller was looking for deflection in front and just missed. Schmidt for Green. Nearly 8 minutes gone by in the third. The Rangers with a 3-1 lead. Girardi to Hunwick. The goal given up by Henrik Lundqvist during the third period ended a shutout streak of 126 minutes. 26 seconds for the Rangers. Johansson chased by Dominic Moore. Orpik sets up Kuznetsov, drives it wide. Brouwer bats it in front. Kuznetsov there to play it. Goes by Brouwer to Johansson. He's checked by Dominic Moore. Now Brouwer gets it to Kuznetsov around the net. In front. And Johansson was checked by Moore. Couldn't get a clean shot. Here's Kuznetsov. The shot deflected by Hunwick. Went off the glass. Pressure by the Caps. Rangers doing a good job so far of withstanding it. Pass to Johansson. Save by Lundqvist. Penalty called on the Rangers. Brouwer to Orpik. The late penalty coming up. Ovechkin gets it ahead and gets it back. Now Orpik. Extra man on for Washington.
Yeah, not only 6-on-5, but Rangers tired.
Ovechkin wrist shot that went off of Lundqvist. May have gone off his mask.
This has come to a standstill.
Ovechkin again. That went off of Jesper Fast. Along the boards, Dominic Moore touches up. Play stops with 10:31 to go. A hooking call will give the Caps another power play. It's on Matt Hunwick.
Boy, that group that was on the ice was gassed. They went through about a minute of solid pressure by Washington. Then the delayed penalty took place. And at that point, Washington got a sixth player out there. Here's the penalty. It was a good shot, good save. That was Johansson again, who's had a good third period. And Lundqvist able to stop that. And at that point, the Rangers hung on.
Caps did everything but put the puck in the net. They had total control. Backstrom. Here's a big point in the game. Shot by Joel Ward, blocked by Kevin Klein and cleared by Stepan, but intercepted by Green. Hunwick for hooking at 9:29. Caps are 0 for 3 on the power play in the game. Lundqvist stops the puck, but it missed connection with Klein. Set up for Ward, but he got under it. And the Rangers clear.
Well, what a chance for Ward. Ward takes the place of Brouwer, who was out on the ice. And so he sets up in that high slot. He had two good chances.
Past the midway point, third period. Burakovsky drops it back to Backstrom. Stahl has come on with Dan Boyle. Dominic Moore and Carl Hagelin give away to Stahl, who clears.
Oh, you don't see that very often. The sure-handed Nicholas Backstrom gave that one away and allowed the Rangers to clear.
1 minute to go in the Caps power play. Brouwer in, but it slid off his stick. He missed his shot and went way wide, and Stahl able to clear.
Boy, first Joel Ward misses a good scoring chance, and now Troy Brouwer.
There's Marcus Johansson carrying. Chased by Stepan. Nash is on. Whacks at him with the stick. Out to Carlson. Across to Ovechkin. He shoots. He scores. Oh, the big shot by Alex Ovechkin. On the power play, the Caps score, and the Rangers' 3-goal lead has been cut to 1.
Yeah, Ovechkin way over on the left side. This is Carlson. This one will go off the far post and in. He just takes one step. He's so good at using players as a screen. He knew that one would have been blocked, so he takes a step over, and then what a shot. Past Klein, who had gone down to block it, over the glove, off the post, in. And the Capitals are within a goal with 9:02 to go.
Ovechkin's 7th power play goal of the season, his 16th overall. 9:02 to go. It's a 3-2 game, and the Caps have really stormed back here. They have controlled the play in this third period.
Capitals goal in 16th of the season.
They've outshot the Rangers 14-2 here in the third.
Rangers have to find some momentum. Beagle dumps it in. Chimera after it against Boyle. This is Michael Lotta, checked by Stepan. Beagle behind the net against Hunwick. Beagle moves out. Played across, Niskanen into Orpik. His shot blocked by Kreider. Orpik again, save! Puck is loose in front, cleared away by Dan Boyle. Chimera was there, but Boyle able one-handed away from him. Dumped in again. Stahl back to get it. Ovechkin got the goal, his 16th, from Carlson and Johansson at 10:58, a power play goal. The Rangers had led 3-0. It's now 3-2. Good play by JT Miller.
Again, though, the puck doesn't go in deep.
Burakovsky was stopped. Miller gets it in the cap zone. Niskanen's got it across to Alsner. 7:45 to go in the third. Fired in by Burakovsky. Stopped by Lundqvist. Hard around the boards. And out of the zone. Carlson for Washington. Alsner sends it in. Off the stick with Lundqvist. Stahl trying to move it. Blocked by Burakovsky. Light is tied up by Klein. Burakovsky checked by Stahl. Carl Alsner with a wrister wide. Burakovsky trying to get away from Stahl. Hayes got a piece of it. Alsner trying to play it for Washington. Stahl is there. Miller is there. Burakovsky to Alsner. Now Brooks Light behind the net. The entire third period being played in the Rangers zone. Klein stops Light. Joel Ward has the puck. Ward fires, blocked by Klein. Comes to Carlson. Now Alsner. Big drive, blocked in front. The rebound, Light trying to get a shot. He was stopped by Hayes. A shot by Ward is blocked by Stahl. That shot blocked by Klein.
Well, these are extended shifts. The Rangers can't get the puck.
Stahl is dead tired. He could barely get up before. He was on his knees. Here's Joel Ward, blocked by Stahl. And the Rangers clear it out. But it's going to be an icing. So the Rangers can't change.
Yeah, there'll be a timeout for sure. They have to take a timeout here. I mean, this was another long shift. Stahl has to lean on the boards to try and catch his breath. Here's all the work. Again, by this point, the Rangers can hardly skate. Some blocks. The efforts there to try and keep the puck from getting to Lundqvist. They do an excellent job of that. But no way to clear the puck out of the zone. Good job there by Klein. And they just keep going. Washington has found life. Now all that, when we talked about and showed their Stahl trying to get off the ice. When we talked about the Rangers through two periods and we showed some packages where they 1, 2, 3 passes cleanly out of their zone. Complete opposites going on in this period.
Alain Vigneault used the Rangers timeout to rest those players who have to stay on the ice. You see the numbers in the third period. It's taken two periods, and then the Washington Capitals found their game. Out shooting the Rangers 15-2 here in the third. Coming up, it's the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, excitement every day. There's lots of excitement here in the Garden.
Ovechkin jumped in there. Now you've got Ovechkin, who is rested. Stahl had a little bit of a rest along with Klein in this line, but they've got to do a job here.
Hagelin got to the puck, couldn't clear. Stahl taken away by Fair. Out at the point. Long shot went wide. Fair gets knocked down by JT Miller. Miller trying to move the puck. Backstrom is there. Fair is there. Miller pushes it ahead to Hayes. Kevin Hayes gets out with it, gets to the red line, dumps it in. Rangers get the change they need.
Strong play by Kevin Hayes.
Ovechkin slowed down by Zuccarello. Nash played it ahead. Zuccarello's got it. Mike Green there. Blocks the shot. Zuccarello and Green go after it. Brassard takes it. Up the boards. Girardi comes in. Takes a hit from Ovechkin. Backstrom lost it to Brassard. Brassard taken down. Penalty call.
Got hit with a high stick by Backstrom, I believe.
With 5:25 to go in the third, Rangers will get a power play. They lead it 3-2. Recap is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Rick Nash, 2 goals. He's second in the league with 22. Look at the Ovechkin numbers. Power play goals, 6 shots, 8 hits. Might have had even more than that. Marty St. Louis with a power play goal. Leads the team with 4.
And here's the penalty. Brassard ends up with the puck, and there's the high stick. Backstrom tries to lift the stick, misses that, catches Brassard in the face, and there you see the blood. That's the reason there's a 4-minute penalty. Double minor.
At 14:35, so that's a big factor with only 5:25 remaining. 4-minute power play advantage. Hand pass whistled against the Rangers. Let's see. Is there a penalty on the face-off?
There is. See what they call here.
Oh, it's passing the puck with his glove. Yes, that's an automatic. You cannot do that. That was a rule that's instituted this season. And Chimera goes off, and the Rangers have a 2-man advantage.
Remember, Chimera, not normally a centerman. He generally plays the wing.
So here's a big opportunity for the Rangers with a face-off violation at 14:35. So the Rangers have a 2-man advantage for 2 minutes. Backstrom off for 4 for high sticking, and Chimera for 2 for face-off violation. 5-on-3 advantage for the Rangers. Nash, St. Louis, Stepan, Brassard, and Dan Boyle. Rangers kept it in. Stepan. St. Louis set up to the right side. Boyle winds up. Big drive. Knocked out by Holtby. Rebound wide by Nash. Brassard. St. Louis blocked by Orpik. Cleared by Light. 5 minutes to go in the third. Clock working in the Rangers' favor with a man advantage. 2-man advantage here. St. Louis to Stepan. Moves in. Sets it up. Dan Boyle. Stepan. St. Louis at the side of the net. Boyle to Stepan. Boyle fires off the skate. A save by Holtby. He stopped St. Louis on the rebound. Boyle again. Brassard moving. Down low, Stepan. St. Louis wants the puck. It is saved by Holtby. Oh, what a pass by Stepan to St. Louis. Brassard shoots wide. Stepan. Now Boyle. 40 seconds to go in the 2-man advantage. St. Louis. To Boyle for the drive. Blocked in front by Orpik. St. Louis. To Boyle. Brassard. Down low, Stepan. To Nash. He hit the post. And the rebound goes in. Marty St. Louis. It's a power play goal. And the Rangers lead 4-2.
Now the Rangers worked it around so well and had chances, and Holtby was making the saves. And Nash finally gets a shot from out a little bit further. Instead of being in front of the net, he's out off the post, and St. Louis knocks it out of midair. It hit the post, it hit the glove, and then the blade of the stick, and there it is. Did St. Louis get it, or did it go off the glove?
I think he hit the glove, and the glove hit the puck.
Either way, let's see. Oh, that might be Nash's goal. I think it's Nash's goal. I think. But I've been wrong once or twice this season. I thought Holtby knocked it back in with his glove, but maybe not.
Now it's a 5-on-4 power play advantage. As they finish, and a takeaway by Brooks Light. 2-on-1 with Brouwer. Light moves in. The drive saved by Lundqvist. The wraparound was stopped. Zuccarello with a good play.
He make a good play. Saved a goal, Zuccarello.
Ryder across. Ryder pulls up against Alsner. Rangers with a man advantage and a 2-goal lead. Shot by Girardi went off of Brooks Light. Rangers' second power play goal of the game. 3 minutes to go. In the third, it's whistled down. The puck was touched with a high stick. They have credited Marty St. Louis with the goal. His second of the game. Nash and Stepan the assists.
Yeah, let's see. Did Marty St. Louis get a piece of it here? I don't think so. It was the glove. He knocked it straight back. He went to reach it. Watch what he does with the. He knocks it straight back right there. He's trying to catch it, and he pushes it in. I don't think Marty St. Louis ever touched the puck.
So the question is, but he gave it the momentum to go into.
I don't think he did. No, I know. It didn't look like that to me anyway, Sam. I thought Holtby, in trying to get control of it, batted it back towards his own net and in.
I thought St. Louis hit the glove with the stick.
I thought afterwards, but
okay,
we'll see.
Rangers with a minute 10 remaining in their power play advantage. Stepan. Shot by Hunwick deflects wide. Hunwick and Boyle at the points now. Here's Hunwick for the drive. Blocked in front by Norpik. Rangers with a 4-2 lead. Took advantage of the 5-on-3. Huge goal after Washington had cut the 3-0 lead to 3-2. 2:10 to go. Rangers looking for their 7th win in a row. And the numbers mounting for the Rangers. It's been quite a stretch. Zuccarello. Pass by Kreider. Third attempt blocked. Here comes Brassard. Save Holtby. Brassard has it back. Pass went by Zuccarello to Girardi. Around the boards. Blocked by Brassard. Breathing to push it ahead. 10 seconds to go in the Rangers power play. Lundqvist got a piece of the Mike Green shot. Kreider lays it back to McDonough. In comes Zuccarello to the net. Pass across to Brassard and the shot blocked.
Wow, what a play. That just happened to hit the skate of Carlson. Wide open net. Beautiful setup by Zuccarello.
Rangers power plays are over. They scored on the 5-on-3. They had 7 shots on goal. And you're watching the Foxwoods Final 5. Foxwoods, excitement every day. Visit foxwoods.com now. Holtby has gone to the bench. Extra skater on. A minute to go. Rangers lead 4-2. Shot by Fair, save. And Ovechkin couldn't get a shot on the rebound. Out to Alsner, down to Fair. 2 men in front for Washington. That's blocked by Hagelin. Hagelin's got the puck to the empty net. Off the post. Rebound. Cleared aside by Alsner.
Penalty coming up on the Rangers.
There's Ovechkin with Stahl on him. Stahl takes it away.
I believe this will be a trip
call.
down the other end by Fost.
With 30 seconds to go, and the Rangers leading by 2, it's Hagelin going off.
Hagelin, I thought it was Fost, but Hagelin was there as well.
I thought he was the empty net king.
Yeah, he was. Thought about passing, then let the shot go quickly. And then there he is. He comes in and takes the penalty. So 30 seconds remaining. Rangers up by 2. Power play and timeout by Washington.
Caps talk things over, and we want you to stay tuned. Right after the game, we've got complete post-game coverage anchored by Al Trotwig with Anson Carter in the studio. Joe Micheletti and Dave Maloney have their analysis. John Giannone works the locker room, talks to the players. We'll hear from head coach Alain Vigneault. All coming up on Mercedes-Benz Rangers postgame immediately following the end of the game. Hagelin for tripping at 19:30. Caps 1 for 4 on the power play in the game. Ovechkin has that power play goal. The Caps with 30 shots in the game. 19 here in the third period. Green. 6 skaters on. Caps net is empty. Rangers can shoot for the empty net from anywhere without worrying about icing. Time ticking off. Girardi fires. It's knocked down. Backstrom shoots. Save. Lundqvist. Step on. And a quick shot by Backstrom was saved by Lundqvist and no rebound. 7.1 to go. The Rangers are about to make it 7 wins in a row. 9 in their last 11. And 11 in their last 14.
There are the 4 goals by the Rangers. Those 2 players, Nash and St. Louis.
Off the face-off, Backstrom has it. Backstrom feeds Ovechkin, couldn't handle it. Sent to the empty net and in by Dominic Moore. And they waved it off. It's no goal, but it ends the game. The Rangers win it. A big showdown, early season showdown with the Washington Capitals, and the Rangers win it 4-2. The winning streak is 7 in a row. Merry Christmas, Alain Vigneault and the Rangers.
What a hockey game this turned out to be. The Rangers were so good through 2 periods. No issues in their own zone, clearing the puck out. It was a physical game. We saw Ovechkin get involved in a little bit of everything. And then Washington, we knew they were good in December, and they showed it in the 3rd period. They came out hard and strong. Lundqvist had to stand tall, and he did, and then the Rangers' power play sealed it.
Lundqvist faced 20 shots in the 3rd period, making 18 saves as the Caps really poured it on, trying to get back into the game. Rangers led 2-0 into the 3rd, got a goal in the 3rd to make it 3-0. Rick Nash getting that goal. And then after it got to 3-2, Marty St. Louis with his 2nd goal of the game. Our 3 stars of the game brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com.
The 3rd star from the Rangers with 2 assists in the game, number 36, Mats
Zuccarello with 2 assists in the game is the number 3 star.
The 2nd star from the Rangers with 2 goals on the night,
Marty
number
St. Louis
26, Martin
with a
St. Louis.
2-goal game, 2 power play goals. And the man who continues to light it up
And
for the New York
tonight's first star
Rangers.
from the Rangers with 2 goals
Night after
and
night.
an assist, number
He's
61,
one of the top players. Rick Nash. 2-goal game and a little bit of everything from Rick Nash in this one. Rangers defeat the Washington Capitals 4-2. They've won 7 in a row. We'll be back at the Garden in just a moment.